Diagnosed with diabetes. Go to truckersfund.org. Take the risk assessment located under the Health and Wellness tab and sign up today.
News Radio 1440 is WLWI AM and 95.1 HD3 FM of Montgomery, a Cumulus media station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Officials in Ukraine say the country's interior minister and 3 children are among 18 people killed when a helicopter crashed in a suburb of Kyiv today. The BBC's James Waterhouse is in Brovary.
It was a government helicopter, and I can see a rotary blade that's fallen on top of a vehicle. There are 3 or 4 bodies to the right under a foil blanket, and then there's a kindergarten across the way with smoke coming out.
Ukraine says 15 children are among the 25 injured. Brutal storms that have left Californians dealing with heartbreak from damaging mudslides have moved to the Rocky Mountains. CBS's Jared Hill.
Severe storms continue to move eastward to the Denver region, with forecasts of high winds and over a foot of snow. The overnight snowfall has already led to flight cancellations and crashes on the roads.
Officials in California say the ground there is so saturated, the danger of more mudslides, landslides, and sinkholes could go on for months. As the special counsel prepares to investigate classified material connected to the president, there's an indication Mr. Biden is perplexed. Correspondent Adriana Diaz.
CBS News has learned that privately he's expressed frustration the documents ended up at his home and private office. The White House has been criticized for not being more forthcoming.
A Massachusetts man accused of killing his wife is scheduled to appear in court today. Norfolk County District Attorney Michael Morrissey.
Mr. Walsh will be transported to the Quincy District Court for arraignment on the charge of murder.
47-year-old Brian Walsh initially arrested for misleading investigators after his wife Anna failed to show up at her real estate job in Washington, D.C. Police say they found blood and a knife in the basement of the couple's home. There's hopeful news about a possible vaccine for RSV, a respiratory illness that's been making the rounds this winter.
Moderna's is a messenger RNA vaccine, the same technology involved in its COVID-19 injection. The company says late-stage trials have shown it to be safe and nearly 84% effective in preventing at least 2 symptoms of RSV in older adults. It plans to file for FDA approval in the first half of this year. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
The world's oldest living person has died at a nursing home in France. Sister Andre was 118 years old. After she tested positive for COVID 2 years ago, she said, she had no fear because she wasn't afraid of dying. Sister Andre speculated the secret to her longevity was chocolate and a glass of wine every day. This is CBS News.
Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
MyPillow is always looking for ways to solve everyday problems. Introducing a 6-piece towel set that includes 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. Right now, you can receive a 6-piece set for only $39.98 with promo code SKY. MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty and have a 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, and enter promo code SKY. Or call 800-635-1825. That's MyPillow.com, promo code SKY.
An actor is making steady progress after a serious mishap in Nevada.
Jeremy Renner's been released from the hospital and is now recovering at home. The Marvel actor suffered traumatic chest and orthopedic injuries, and on social media says he's still dealing with brain fog after getting run over by a snowplow on New Year's Day. He'd been helping a relative pull their snow-covered car off a road. Investigators called it a horrific accident, and now doctors say it could take at least 2 years for him to recover. Monica Ricks, CBS News.
Excellent health news from a tennis legend in an op-ed on ESPN.com. 68-year-old Chris Evert says she's cancer-free. The 18-time Grand Slam champ was diagnosed with stage 1 ovarian cancer more than a year ago. Same diagnosis her sister Jean received before she died in 2020. Everett says the genetic roadmap her sister left behind, evidence of BRCA1, helped doctors detect her disease early. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-350-5858. That's 1-800-350-5858. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-350-5858. 800-350-5858.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD, 833-404-GOLD.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS.
Are you looking to enhance the beauty of your home with new shades, blinds, shutters, or custom draperies? If so, Just Blinds wants you to experience the very best we have to offer by visiting our showroom in Prattville, where you'll always receive personal attention from our professional designers at no cost to you. Also, you'll be presented with a full range of window treatment options, and you'll experience firsthand the ease and comfort of motorized smart home options. Just Blinds is located at 1522 South Memorial Drive in Prattville.
Don't miss Sean Hannity.
Biden incoherently adheres
live this afternoon at 2 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Your WSFA First Alert weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle, and my company is Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 to provide custom blinds, shades, and shutters at affordable prices. Our blinds are easy to install and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive professional. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
areas of fog out there this morning. In fact, a lot of us are going to be foggy, some worse than others. Remember to use those low beam headlights and take a little extra time this morning. That'll get out of here by 9 or 10 o'clock. This afternoon, we're mostly cloudy. We'll have some scattered showers, perhaps a storm or two, 50% coverage, highs in the 70s. Tonight, rain chances increase late with a line of rain and perhaps a few storms. That will bleed into tomorrow morning, but by tomorrow afternoon, we're dry. In the 70s, we're dry and cooler on Friday. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery, and heavy fog, dense fog throughout the Tri-County area. A travel advisory, make sure you leave early and drive slower. Keep your headlights on low beams, but heavy fog throughout the river region, so please use caution and leave early. The Front Porch Grill in Millbrook, that's where friends meet, good food is served, and no one is a stranger. Stop by and enjoy an atmosphere that's quickly becoming a thing of the past. The Front Porch Grill, Deatsville Highway in Millbrook. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
Talk tires with Montgomery's #1 tire store, Chico's Auto Pros. Chico's has you covered with Chico's Auto Pros price match guarantee and 0 down options.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams with WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Wednesday. FEMA is in Alabama to explain how storm victims can register for federal assistance after those deadly tornadoes. Officials are encouraging people to visit disasterassistance.gov or by calling 1-800-621-FEMA. And you can also help those recovering from the storm. WSFA 12 News is teaming up with the Central Alabama Community Foundation to host the Central Alabama Tornado Relief Drive. Our phone lines are open from 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. today. You can also donate by visiting our website, WSFA.com. Just a day after taking her oath of office, Governor Kay Ivey signed 3 executive orders focusing on the government accountability. One order establishes standards for the management and operation of state agencies. The second establishes the governor's study group on efficiency in state government. And the third requires state agencies to eliminate unnecessary state vehicles to save money. I'm Jasmine Williams at your morning headline.
Right.
Support by Christian Care Ministry.
Next election, we'll have some more
The
rules.
people are happier with
Don't
it.
mean jack.
That sounds like something to look into, and that's
Yeah.
MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. Very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WIN for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WIN for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WIN.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons. Sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, best product I've ever used, and amazing, I love my Navage. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp data bank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380. Again, 1-800-217-4380.
Telling it like it really is.
That's the fact.
It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440. Sometimes you need to reset. refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
Tomorrow morning, if you wake up and the sun does not appear, I will be here. If in the dark you lose sight of love, hold my hand and have no fear.
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It's time to rise and shine once again. For once again, you're on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of you. Good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is News Radio 1440. It is time for our daily bread, a word from on high, something to change your perspective or give you a new one. Either way, it's good for the soul. It is January the 18th, 2023 AD. Today's daily bread is simply entitled Heart Problem. Our scripture insight today comes from Ezekiel 14:1-8. But Ezekiel 14:6 says, the sovereign Lord says, repent, turn from your idols, and renounce all your detestable practices. Govern yourselves accordingly. And again, it is January the 18th, 2023. It is a day that has never been. And like all the other days of old, no matter how many times I say it, it is a day that will never, ever come again. And once it's gone, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and do all the things that we should have done this day. And more importantly, we don't get a chance to come back and undo the things that we do. So whatever it is that you do with this day, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you be proud of what you have done on this day, January the 18th, 2023. If you've lived a while, like I tell you every morning, you've heard many, many yesterdays. And if we are blessed and given the grace and mercy of God, we may, I'm not sure, we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day. That is the first day of the rest of our lives. What are we going to do with it? Well, whatever we do, if we can, while we can, until we can't, reach back every once in a while and lend a helping hand to someone else. Visualizer May said, whatever we do in life, we should do it so well, no man living, no man dead, no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say if that is the standard by which you live life, you shall always be successful. Oh, you'll fail at a thing or two. We all do. But you will never be a failure until you quit. We say give out if you must. Rest only if you can. But you never quit. You never, ever give up. Because quitters never win. And while winners may fail at a thing or two, they never quit. One foot in front of the other. Martin Luther King said, if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. Or whatever you do, keep moving forward. Again, because winners don't quit and quitters never win. And no matter what happens on this day, remember this much. This day, like all the others, it's a great day to be alive. Good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Our reading titled Heart Problem was written by Tim Gustafson. Do you see it, Brother Tim? My friend, a Ghanaian pastor, flashed his torchlight on a carved object leaning against a mud hut. Quietly he said, "That is the village idol. Each Tuesday evening, Pastor Sam traveled into the bush to share the Bible in this remote village. In the book of Ezekiel, we see how idolatry plagued the people of Judah. When Jerusalem's leaders came to see the prophet Ezekiel, God told him, "These men have set up idols in their hearts." God wasn't merely warning them against idols carved of wood and stone. He was showing them that idolatry is a problem of the heart. We all struggle with it. Bible teacher Alistair Begg describes an idol as anything other than God that we regard as essential to our peace, our self-image, our contentment, or our acceptability. Even things that have the appearance of being noble can become idols to us. When we seek comfort or self-worth from anything other than the living God, we commit idolatry. Repent, God said. Turn from your idols and renounce all your detestable practices. Israel proved incapable of doing this. Thankfully, God had the solution. Looking forward to the coming of Christ and the gift of the Holy Spirit, he promised, "I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you." We can't do this alone. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Ezekiel chapter 14, verses 1 through 8. Some of the elders of Israel came to me and sat down in front of me. Then the word of the Lord came to me. "Son of man, these men have set up idols in their hearts and put wicked stumbling blocks before their faces. Should I let them inquire of me at all? Therefore, speak to them and tell them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. When any of the Israelites set up idols in their hearts and put a wicked stumbling block before their faces and then go to a prophet, I, the Lord, will answer them myself in keeping with their great idolatry. I will do this to recapture the hearts of the people of Israel, who have all deserted me for their idols. Therefore, say to the people of Israel, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Repent, turn from your idols, and renounce all your detestable practices. When any of the Israelites or any foreigner residing in Israel separate themselves from me and set up idols in their hearts and put a wicked stumbling block before their faces and then go to a prophet to inquire of me, I, the Lord, will answer them myself. I will set my face against them and make them an example and a byword. I will remove them from my people. Then you will know that I am the Lord." Let's pray. Father, please show us the idols that are in our hearts. Help us to destroy them and turn to you and live and be content in your love. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thanks for listening today. I'm Stephen, and today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Court! Oh, kid! Who? Airborne!
Time to rise and shine, Montgomery. Let's do it. Time for PT. Come on. Hey, one more day of PT and it's over. Let's do it.
We run
to the sun.
sun.
Oh, sweet. Not yet. Down in the mess hall on my knees.
Down in the mess hall on my knees.
We got nothing to eat but a can of beans.
Nothing to eat but a can of beans.
The bread was moldy and the meat was bad.
The bread was moldy.
Oh, get it down. You know darn well that you can't eat that.
You know darn well that you can't eat that. Here we go.
Here we go.
All the way.
All the way.
Gotta be.
Gotta be.
Up and tough.
Rough and tough. Airborne. All the way. When I was young, always wanted to be in the 82nd Airborne. Needs another breeze. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. Jump from an aircraft while in flight.
All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on. All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on.
Early one
Morning in the drizzling rain, well, I picked up my parachute and boarded the plane. Jump master said 1 minute to go. Green light lead to the cheering blow. All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on. All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on. Here we go, all the way, all the way. Gotta be rough and tough, airborne, airborne. Now it's time for PT. So get the first sergeant and the sergeant major out here. Let's hit the bricks. Come on now. I know they're retiring, but they're not gone yet. Let's do it. Here we go. Here we go. Every day. Sign my name on the dotted line. Sign my name on the dotted line. All I do is double time. All I do is double time. Up the hill, down the hill, down the hill, up the hill, down the hill. Airborne. Arua. C-130 rolling down the strip. C-130 rolling down the strip. Airborne daddy gonna work a little trip. Airborne daddy gonna oh yeah. Shuffle to the door. Oh. And jump right out and count to 4. Jump right out and count to 4. If my mate don't be wide. If my mate don't roll in wide. I got a reserve by my side. I got a reserve by my side. If that one should fail me too. If that one should fail me too. Oh, look out below, cause I'm coming through. Look out below, I'm coming through. Hey, every day. Hey, every day. Hey, every day. Die on the old job zone. If I die on the old job zone. Box me up and send me home. Box me up and send me home. Pin my wings up on my chest. Pin my wings up on my chest. And tell my girl I did my best. Tell my girl. Woo, this over yet? Hey, all the way. Hey, all the way. Hey, every day. Woo! Okay. Now. And now we pay homage to all of our armed forces of these United States of America. Because somebody has to sit on the fence line every night and guard it. And they say to themselves, not on my watch. Airborne. And let me say good morning to all the other folks around here, Alabama National Guard. Good morning, Sergeant Major Rasmussen. Good morning, First Sergeant. Good morning, Maxwell Gunner Air Force Base. After all, this is an Air Force town. Good morning to the Montgomery Police Department, who are the civilian side of the military. Go out there and roam the streets tonight and make sure, at least the best they can, that no harm comes to you tonight. Good morning to the Montgomery Fire Department. Just in case there's harm that does come, they're always there. And good morning to the Montgomery Sanitation Department, who are out there way before I get to work in the morning. Good morning, guys. Hope this day finds you well. And last but certainly not least, good morning to the Honorable Mayor of Stephen Reed. We don't get along politically all the time, but I like the guy. I just got to get him out of that Democratic Party thing. Anyway, good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine. And no matter what happens this day, no matter what happens, it is still a great day to be on top of the ground. And the ground's not on top of you. Good morning to you.
to the shores of Tripoli. You will find our country's banners in the air on Wednesday sea. As we fight for island freedom and to keep our mother free, we are proud to make the title of United States
And remember, the only easy day you can count on is yesterday, because it's already come and gone. Good morning to you. Hope this day finds you well. The clock on the wall says that it's 6:30 in the morning. I'm feeling motivated this morning. Yeah, really motivated. It's always a great day to be motivated when you wake up alive. I'm telling you, it's a good day. No such thing as a bad day. They're just bad things that happen in the day. But the day itself is always pretty good. You know what I'm saying? That's right. It's always a good day. Good morning to my Facebook audience there. Good morning to all you guys out there, all you guys on the app who listen in from all parts of America. Sometimes I appreciate it. All I need now is to fulfill my last dream, and that is to go nationwide because the world needs to hear me. The world needs to hear me. A sense of logic and reason and common sense. Okay. I had a big argument yesterday with somebody who just really wouldn't. They just, we won't. Political correctness has taken us to the point we are like carnivores in America. We are devouring our own self. We're killing with the stupidity of our language now. We're gonna bend and twist and manipulate every letter and every syllable in our language now until it meets the criteria, the political criteria that we want. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yes, I had this big argument, right? I had this big argument about transgender. I said there's never been one. Now, and I said the word trans means to move from one place to the other, or go from one thing to the other, which is cool. I'm good with that. Again, and listen. Now, anybody out there, I still got $1,000 bet that there's never been a male or a female to transfer themselves from one sex to the other. I mean, it's just common sense. I'm not, but personally, now don't get me wrong, guys. Don't get me wrong, lady. If you think you are a woman, I'm good, because nobody can tell you what to think. Thinking is all on you if you do it. But to scientifically and biologically convince me that you once were something that you are no longer because you have transitioned into something else, I'm sorry. That dog ain't gonna hunt. Now, I just ain't gonna hunt. Okay. Now I realize that we live in a world where we want to be politically correct and all that good stuff, and that's fine. But again, tell me that you feel that you're a woman, I'm good. Or you think you are, I'm good. Or a man or a woman that supposedly turned herself into a man. Okay. And I always like to give this example. If you're a guy and you cut off your package, well, that's cool. You still a guy without a package. I'm good. Listen, you got mental issues. If you do that, you don't. But hey, that's on you. So yesterday I'm arguing with one of my best friends, okay, who said, you don't know, you don't realize. Yes, I do realize. I realize that God made two sexes. I realize he made them. He didn't make three. Okay, he made two. Just one. You are either biologically, your DNA, or your chromosome. You are either male or female. Now, every once in a while, because of our stupidity or whatever we do, we have what's known as hermaphrodite. That's an individual who is born with both genitalia. Now, I'm willing to go along with this. I'm willing to go. Okay, let's say your mom and dad, they found out you got both of them. So dad says, well, I want a boy. Mom says, well, no, we want a little girl. So we got to make a choice there. But it is possible that the individual could grow up and want to be the opposite. That's the only one that I'm going to give a little leeway to here because, you know, things happen in nature, okay? Things happen. But other than that, you cannot turn yourself into a female or a male because you think that's what you are. I'm sorry. And I realize that I know it may hurt some people's feelings. However, I still have the invitation on the table because I would never be hostile to anybody who thinks that they think that. Okay. The invitation is always on the table for you to come up here and have a conversation with me and convince me that you used to be something that you now are not. I'm just saying. I'm a reasonable guy. It is. No, it's not even possible. It's not even possible. But I'm willing to entertain the conversation. Okay. Say my best friend yesterday, we were just sitting there talking, and they tried to convince me that I was a heathen. I was a heathen because I didn't believe the bull crap that they want to tell me. Okay. Again, we have taken our language and tried to convince people. We are trying to indoctrinate our young folks to actually believing that a man can turn himself into a woman and a woman can turn herself into a man. We are actually trying to get young folks in public school to believe that. I'm just confused. Okay. No. I'm not confused. They're confused. Anyway, okay, that's the end of that story. I just had to get it out there. You know, I was so disappointed yesterday. My almost friend almost dumped me because I'm adamant about that. Again, until I see some scientific proof that there are more than two sexes, genders, however you want to call them. They even tried to take the word gender now and say, well, yeah, no, that you can be what you want to be. Okay. All right then. 6:37 in the morning. All right then. You can be what you want to be. You can think you are what you want to think you are, but that doesn't change what you are. Okay. Anything else? Okay, that's it. I'm good. Let's take a break. We'll come back with a lesson of life and the word of the day that I guarantee you I have not changed the word for political reasons.
First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I sell custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters that are easy to install at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are custom-made for your windows, and I guarantee they'll fit. Don't hire a pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Areas of fog out there this morning. In fact, a lot of us are going to be foggy, some worse than others. Remember to use those low beam headlights and take a little extra time this morning. That'll get out of here by 9 or 10 o'clock. This afternoon, we're mostly cloudy. We'll have some scattered showers, perhaps a storm or two. 50% coverage, highs in the 70s. Tonight, rain chances increase late with a line of rain and perhaps a few storms. That would bleed into tomorrow morning, but by tomorrow afternoon, we're dry. In the 70s, we're dry and cooler on Friday. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery, and we've got heavy fog throughout the Tri-County area. In fact, a dense fog travel advisory, so please use caution. Got a couple of things going on. Ant Street at 85. At the bottom of the ramp to 85 northbound, there's an accident there. Also, we've got in Clanton, Highway 31, just before I-65. The disabled vehicle, they've got moved. If you could have seen it, it was off to the left side there at 85 northbound coming out of the interchange. From a simple patient transport to life and death situations, Haynes Ambulance is there for you both on the ground and in the air. Haynes Ambulance, ready at a moment's notice. Buckle up, it's the law. Keep your headlights on the low beam. The Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
Talk tires with Montgomery's #1 tire store, Chico's Auto Pros. Chico's has you covered with Chico's Auto Pros price match guarantee and 0 down options.
When it comes to esports, there's only been a handful of broadcasting talent that's left a real mark on the industry. One of those figures is James Dash Patterson, who's known as the broadcasting face of the League of Legends Championship Series, the biggest esport in the world. This week, the news broke that the infamous Desk host won't be returning for the 2023 season because Riot Games let him go. Will fan outrage cause Riot Games to rethink their decision?
The latest esports and gaming news. Find it online at checkpointxp.com.
To you, my love,
My heart I surrender just as soon as I deal. We yonder fender, cause my ice cream truck is the way I make cash. So I'll buy you a ring when I lose this dress rash.
Owning a small business isn't always as lovely as it sounds, but at least Progressive Commercial saves you money with personalized discounts. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
I'm gonna make you so happy. Sometime next year, I hope.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage and discounts not available for all vehicles or states. Policy terms and
Happy
conditions.
New Year. Eric Cresswell here from Tallahassee Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, and I want to invite you to our Start Something New sales event. Right now, you can save big on remaining stock of Wranglers and Durangos with lots of incentives to choose from. We're taking orders for the 2023 model, so it's the perfect time to order exactly what you want. Just stop in and let us look at your trade. We can run the numbers, and I will guarantee your trade value to the car of your dreams arrives. Drive a little, save a lot. TallahassieAutomotive.com. Start Something New sales event ends January 31st.
It's a great time to visit Larry Puckett Chevrolet in Prattville. With the largest used car inventory in the River region, it's a great time to buy. They've got a tremendous selection of late model vehicles that give you like new quality without new sticker pricing. The time to buy is now. As the new inventory picks up, they've got to make space. That means deals, deals, and more deals for you. Visit Larry Puckett Chevrolet in Prattville or shop online at LarryPuckett.com. Larry Puckett Chevrolet, where the customers do the talking.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's Metashare. Maybe you've heard switching to Metashare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Metashare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Metashare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Telling it like it really is. It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
Okay, I'm back. I'm here. I'm ready to roll. I'm good to go. Life is good, you know. I know. I realize that it's a hard thing for you guys to do sometimes. See, I really don't mind how you identify yourself. It doesn't bother me. I mean, it doesn't bother. But just because I'm gonna go. I tell you what I'm gonna do today. When I get off the air, I'm going down to the mayor's office, and I'm going to the front door, and and they're gonna ask me, where you going? I said, I'm going to my office. And they're gonna look at me crazy. They're gonna say, well, where's your office? I said, I identify as the mayor. Okay. Now they're gonna put my ass all the way out of there and call the police. Okay. Not only are they gonna call the police, if we had a mental hospital, they would probably come get me and take me there too. Okay. But I'm gonna try it, see how it works out today. So when I get off, I'm gonna go up there to the mayor's office and I'm talking to the guard and say, listen, don't you know me? Well, what do you mean, sir? I am the mayor. My name is Stephen Reed. And that's who I'm identifying as today. Oh, okay. But see, you know why they're going to look at me crazy? Because they know that I'm not Stephen Reed. They know who the mayor is by his persona, by his physical attributes. They know what he is. So no matter how many times I go up there today and get through out of the building to tell them I identify as the mayor, they're going to look at me like I'm crazy as hell. And which they have a right to look at me like I'm crazy as hell. Because we all know that I'm not the mayor, but I'm going to pull off this experiment today. I need a cameraman, okay? Just to prove my point, okay? You are not what you identify as. You are what you are. Okay, I ain't mad at you. If you want to identify that, that's good. Or maybe I'll go out on base and identify as the commanding general of the Alabama National Guard. I mean, something like that. Yeah. Now, who knows? I may do that later on. Anyway, good morning to you. What is the word of the day? We'll get to this other stuff later on. Okay. Here we get it. Okay. The word of the day refers to speech or writing that is meant to sound important or impressive, but that is not sincere or meaningful. Sound like some politicians, you know? The word of the day refers to speech or writing that is meant to sound important, okay, or impressive, but that is not sincere or meaningful. In other words, that's the Bravo Sierra that most politicians give you when they're trying to get elected. They use kind of like hyperbolous words and things of that nature to sound important. Like here's one. Well, we want to worry about that crime, because crime is the thing that we got too much of. Yes, sir. Get that crime. Put me in office and I will fix the crime problem. Okay. That's called bombastic. Okay. Or bombast. Okay. bombast. All right. And you put a couple more letters in there after the S, and you'll really understand what it is. Anyway, bombast refers to speech or a writing that is meant to sound important or impressive, but that is not sincere or meaningful. Okay, so the next time your teacher gets up in front of you, trying to impress you with his whatever, you know, or your professor, you should say, Professor Jones, you know, that is a bombast speech. Now, he probably won't understand what it means right then, because he's probably shaking your hand thinking you just complimented him. But when he gets back to his desk and looks up that word, he's gonna give you the strange look. I'm just saying. Okay, you might want to try that out on, you know, but make sure your grade is in the book first before you say that, John. Okay, I'm just saying. Lessons of life. These are things that we learn by living. There's no other way to get there. There's some things in this world you cannot learn until you do them. It's like running a mile. You can sit on the sideline and say, I could have ran that mile faster than Usain Bolt. But until you do it, nobody believes you. Even you don't believe you. Okay, that's called hyperbole. All right, I'm just saying. So this is what lessons of life are all about. And today's lesson of life is no exception. Lesson of life for today. In the journey of life, people can walk with you, but they can never walk for you. Sometime in this journey, you must straighten your back and walk while the storms of life blow your way. And you'll look for, nobody can walk your walk for you. Nobody can live your life for you. That is something that you've got to decide what you want to do. But when you do decide, you need to get in there, straighten your back up, and let the winds come what may, and still keep moving. So remember this, in the journey of life, people can walk with you, but they can never walk for you. Roberta Franklin used to have a saying, I can go with you, but I can't go for you. And I understand what she meant. Sometimes you, the individual, must straighten your back up and walk straight up while the storms of life blow your way. And once you go through all of that, you can sit here and say, that was a lesson of life. Absolutely. Good morning to you. All right, now some things that have happened on this day. It is 6:48 in the morning. It was 1911. Eugene B. Ely lands, the first person to land on a ship in 1911, believe that or not. I wonder how many times they tried that. The USS Pennsylvania anchored at San Francisco Bay, the first time an aircraft landed on a ship. So that's pretty neat. That is pretty neat. Okay, I don't think I want to fly that. I got a friend who's a Navy aviator, Murchison, Rick Murchison, my good friend, naval aviator. He's a lieutenant commander, lieutenant colonel, how do you put it? Anyway, I asked, I said, come on, can you do all that stuff that Top Gun does? You say, well, you know, it's entertaining, but you know, you can't really do all of that. And see, so now he has made me not want to watch Top Gun. I've already watched it 118 times. Okay, now he broke my spirit there. You know, I'm thinking Tom Cruise is a bad. Shut your mouth. Well, you know what I mean. But that's okay. I'm gonna hold on to my dreams that somebody out there that's a pilot can fly an airplane just like that. Anyway, 1913, the first Balkan War. A Greek flotilla defeats the Ottoman Navy in the naval battle of Lemnos, okay, securing the islands of the northern Aegean Sea for Greece. The year was 1915. On this day, Japanese issued the 21 demands to the Republic of China in a bid to increase its power in East Asia. 1919 was the year, and it was World War I. The Paris Peace Conference opens in Versailles, France. 1919 again, Ignacy Jan Paderewski becomes the prime minister of the newly independent Poland. In 1941, during World War II, British troops launched a general counteroffensive against Italian East Africa. In 1943, Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, the first uprising of the Jews in the Warsaw Ghetto. 1945, also World War II, liberation of Krakow, Poland by the Red Army. The year was 1958. Willie O'Ree, the first black Canadian National Hockey League player, makes his NHL debut with the Boston Bruins. 1958. 1960 was the year. Kind of sound like, what's his name, don't I? What's that guy? What's that guy? Great news guy. Man, I love that guy. Walter Cronkite. That's it. I got a little of that raw Walter Cronkite thing in me this morning. You know, I'm feeling pretty good about that. 1945. Well, 1960. Capital Airlines Flight 20 crashes into the farm at Charles City County, Virginia, killing all 50 aboard, and the third fatal Capital Airlines crash in as many years. 1967 was the year Albert DeSalvo, the Boston Strangler, is convicted of numerous crimes and is sentenced to life in prison. I'm teaching you guys a lot this morning. 1969 was the year I was 12 years old. United Airlines Flight 266 crashes in the Santa Monica Bay, killing all 32 passengers and 6 crew members. 1972, members of the Mujahideen Bahini lay down their arms to the government of a newly independent Bangladesh, a month after winning a war against the occupying Pakistan army. 1974 was the year. Disengagement of forces agreed is signed between Israel and Egyptian governments, ending the conflict on the Egyptian front of the Yom Kippur War. 1976, there I was, out there, on my own, trying to make a living. Lebanese Christian militias killed at least 1,000 people in Beirut. 1977, scientists identified a previously unknown bacterium as the cause of the mysterious Legionnaire's disease. 1977, also, Australia's worst rail disaster occurs in Grantville, Sydney, killing 83 people. In 1977, that's right, that's the year, Yugoslavia's prime minister, no sense me trying to kill the guy's name, his wife and 6 others were killed in a plane crash in Bosnia-Herzegovina. 1978 was the year, and I'm almost done. The European Court of Human Rights finds that the United Kingdom government guilty of mistreating prisoners in Northern Ireland, but not guilty of torture. Yeah, right. 1981, there I was, knee deep in a place called Germany. That's right, bomb holder Germany. there I was. In the hills, not that far from the Florida Gap, there I was, waiting for the Rooskies to come across, but it never happened. Phil Smith and Phil Malin parachute off a Houston skyscraper, becoming the first two people to base jump from objects in all four categories: buildings, antenna, spans, bridges, and earth cliffs. Okay then, well, you got to do something with the time you got. 1983, what happened? The International Olympic Committee restored Jim Thorpe's Olympic medals to his family. 1988, China's Southwest Airlines Flight 4146 crashes near the Jambig International Airport, killing all 98 passengers and 10 crew members. Saying y'all wonder why I don't want to get on the airplane. 1990, Washington, D.C. Mayor Marion Barry is arrested for drug possession in an FBI sting. Yes, 1993, Martin Luther King Jr. Day is officially, for the first time, observed for the first time in all 50 states. In 2002, the Sierra Leone Civil War is declared over. I think they forgot to tell a few people. In 2003, a brush fire kills all four and destroys more than 500 homes in Canberra, Austria. If I didn't get that name right, we'll get over it. 2005, the Airbus A380, the world's largest commercial, and I'm certainly never going to get on one of those. The world's largest commercial jet is unveiled at a ceremony in France. No, won't get on that. Had a hard time getting on the C-141. I don't know why I don't like airplanes. I don't understand the science. It's too heavy to fly. It's not a bird. Got engines and all that stuff and torque. I got that, but I don't think man was meant to fly. That's why God made birds. I mean, hey, if you wanted us to fly, and God does have some things that fly. They're called angels. Well, we don't. I don't get no wings. I'm standing on the ground, baby. Anyway, the strongest storm in United Kingdom history in 17 years kills 14 people in Germany. Sees the worst storm since 1999, 13 deaths. Cyclone Kyrill causes at least 44 deaths across 20 countries in Western Europe. Okay, I got it all done. Did I get it all done? Okay, in 2018, a bus catches fire at the Samara Skymet or close to it, road somewhere in Kazakhstan. The fire kills 52 passengers, and 3 passengers and 2 drivers escaped. And last but not least, 2019. That's right. An oil pipeline explosion near Hidalgo, Mexico, killing 137 people. And those are just some of the things that have happened on this day in the world. You see, not just America, in the world. What is history? History is everything men, women, and children have ever seen, done, or felt. So you can never, nobody can tell all of history. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. They can just tell you some of it, and then they can only give you what they consider to be right and wrong. Now, it's time for me to go and get a glass of water or a glass of Morgan David wine, whichever one I feel like it. We'll be back.
Now, your WSFA 12 news update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams at WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Wednesday. FEMA is in Alabama to explain how storm victims can register for federal assistance after those deadly tornadoes.
The Oak Man.
Visit disasterassistance.gov.
How are you this morning?
I don't know how a guy who jumped that airplane can be scared of. I don't like it.
You can also help those recovering.
Didn't like him then.
Why would you jump out of it?
Because sometimes they don't run perfect.
Our phone lines are open from 6 a.m. to 6:30.
I remember one day they said a plane fell in the swamp of Florida. Alligator dinner.
Okay. What happened was.
Yeah, what happened was.
The third requires state agencies to eliminate unnecessary state vehicles to save money. I'm Jasmine Williams at your morning headline.
News Radio 1440, WLWI AM, the home of the Dan Bongino Show. Also on 95.1 HD3 FM, Montgomery, Alabama.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Deborah Rodriguez, a helicopter crash in Ukraine has killed at least 16 people near a kindergarten in a suburb of Kyiv. Among the dead, at least 3 children. Correspondent Holly Williams reports.
There was a fire at the crash site, and Ukraine says 30 people were injured, including 12 children. And among those killed were several senior Ukrainian officials, including the Interior Minister Denis Monastyrsky. It was reportedly dark and foggy at the time of the crash, but so far the Ukrainian authorities are not giving any details about the cause.
In Washington, the new House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has awarded influential committee seats to some controversial Republicans. At least one had previously been stripped of an assignment. Correspondent Nancy Cordes has more.
Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is going to be sitting on the powerful Homeland Security Committee, which has jurisdiction over the border. Should be part of any move to impeach Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, which some in the GOP have been pushing for.
My old hometown in Georgia.
George Santos will serve on 2 committees, including small business. Officials are cracking down on common medications in nursing homes. CBS's Jim Crisula.
The federal government is beginning a targeted
Right on. We
on
need
nursing homes, abuse, and
We need somebody that's
and
different.
misdiagnoses of schizophrenia in patients. Federal authorities started tracking when nursing homes use antipsychotics on residents in 2012.
A Massachusetts man charged
Where
with
is
killing
that
his
possible?
missing wife.
Well, so I do like I'm gonna do like Alan Holmes said. Alan Holmes said sometimes it's important to stop crap rather than to get crap passed. So I think she'll stop the stupid stuff. I'm good.
Walsh was arrested 10 days
That
ago.
was
His
his
wife
week.
Anna
Because
last
you
seen
gotta have
January
something in place
1st. Police say
You
they
just
found
stop
blood
something.
and a knife
What do
in
you
the
have
couple's
in place
basement.
then?
Lawmakers in North Dakota
that's
are
true,
considering
but
That's
legislation
not
to
progress.
ban
You
books
just stop
with
something.
sexually explicit
But you know,
content
But did
in
you have an
public
alternative?
libraries.
Right. But
GOP-sponsored
all these
legislation
laws
calls for
that
up to 3
every
days in jail
week,
for librarians who
and every
refuse to
time
approve
the
them
Senate
of
and
their
the House
shadows. New
Representatives,
inductees
they
into the
pass
Songwriters
another
Hall of
law.
Fame have just
They
been
spend their
announced.
days taking away freedom from people as opposed to protecting
There,
that
it's
freedom.
called legislation.
It's called taking people's freedom away.
Freedom for what?
There's enough
Wait a minute.
laws.
What freedom have they taken away from you?
Let's just take.
I asked you
wait,
what, name one.
let's take the parole board. I was reading the thing yesterday.
That's not my question.
No.
What the
They
hell
get-
parole board got to do with the question? I
Because
asked you?
they get 6
That's
minutes.
deflection.
No.
I asked you a question.
They take a lot of things from us.
No, I asked you a question.
Electric. They're trying to mandate us to have electric cars. What the hell you to tell me what I'm supposed to drive?
You know what? Here's the thing about it. The country that's making the most money off gasoline is going away from gasoline. They're spending more money. No, they're not.
They're stupid too.
They're using
As soon as cold
their
weather
money.
hits, as soon as the electric grade cannot handle it anymore, like the other day, a guy put his car on an electric thing. It told him to come back in 6 days. It's crazy.
We have not set up the infrastructure.
And we won in our lifetime.
And yes, we will.
No.
We will, because do you realize in the year 2030, yes, the largest city in the world, self-contained, will have gotten this money from the United States off oil.
Probably so. And oil
What is
is
the let me
still
ask you this: what is the larger? Look at it like this: what are the richest countries in the world per capita?
Don't really care.
Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United Arab Emirates.
Look who's making the
Is there
rounds
any
again.
commonality here?
Well,
They're all in the Middle East.
Right, and they all
They're
got
all
oil.
countries that have never been colonized.
And we got oil.
You know what? You know why they weren't colonized? Because all they were was desert and wasteland. But that desert and wasteland had something under it.
Like everything.
And that's what they did. They capitalized. Now, none of these are democracies.
Miami, LA, and Las Vegas.
Hell, we don't have a democracy here either.
None. Well, we have a democratic republic. There really no such thing as a democracy.
That's right.
There will be.
It sounds good to the unknown.
It's part of the democratic process.
It's part of the democratic BS because we don't have. I got presidents who president of the United States says democracy. We are not a democracy. And even those fools say that, right? Even those fools say that.
Democratic republic.
Right. But
that is correct word, but people stop.
Because if we was democracy, a lot of times
everyone would have the same say. We wouldn't have people representing us. We would just vote for everything, and the majority would rule on everything, and that would be utter chaos.
I will promise you, America would not be ready for.
But you realize America is the youngest experiment in politics in the world.
Yeah.
So we have countries that are thousands of years old who have monarchies,
right? Like Britain.
Well, it's UK semi-monarch, but it's not totally. It's a cross between a democracy and a monarchy.
Yeah.
Because there has to be the monarchy is mainly a ceremonial.
Well, now it is. It did used to.
Yeah, that's what it is. But it evolved into that, and that's where all empires. Nothing stays the same. We have a very young.
It would take 100 years for us to get ready to
longer than that.
To go electric. It would take 100
Oh no!
years.
Oh, to go electric.
No. I'm telling you, a little bit of wind. Every time it gets cold outside, it doesn't. The clouds in it. I'm telling you, it ain't gonna work for this country. We got too many people driving cars in this country.
Let me tell you something.
We got the poor folks driving cars.
Watch this, Kevin. If you go to New York, there are signs that are running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What are all those signs powered by?
It's powered by electricity. And you put cars on.
Wait a minute. Where does that electricity come from?
It's made.
It's solar power. They're all solar power.
And what happens?
They're not on the grid. Right. See, when the power goes off, those signs are still on.
I guarantee you, those
and they'll last 1,000 years.
Those things that you put in your car is not coming from solar. Those things coming. Did you go to? I was at Sam's the other day. One of them stores over there. They got I was Sam's somewhere. A wholesale. They got the little electric thing to electrify your Tesla. Guy told me that he had $115,000 Tesla. He went to power it up. Said come back in 4 days. I think that's what it said. Because they couldn't. The power was not sufficient.
Well, what we have something that's being sold without the infrastructure to support it.
That's right.
But that would, and you see, that's the difference between. See, we live in an economy that is based on profit.
Right.
If you live in an economy that is based on what that leader thinks is best for the people, that's the difference. See, capitalism is based on profit.
Which has provided us with some of the greatest experiments, some of the greatest things that mankind has ever seen.
Okay, here's if you live in a country where healthcare, here's what you have. No, that's not. Socialism is a political construct. Economics and politics are two different things. That's the problem we have now, where we put the two together and make them mutually exclusive. That is a very deep conversation. I had that conversation yesterday with you.
Okay then. Good morning. You know, it's Wednesday morning. It's a third. Is it a third Wednesday already?
The third.
Okay.
First and third.
Okay. Donald Jenkins with us. Donald Jenkins is the opposite of me.
No, just a different perspective.
Which is opposite of mine. Which is
Not
good.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not. It isn't. No. But you have a perspective based on your understanding. And I always start off by saying, your perspective is your point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Your point of view is based on your perception. Your perception is your knowledge as you believe it, as you perceive it to be. That's what you perceive. That doesn't make it correct. It's as you perceive it to be. Mm-hmm. And that is your understanding. So from your understanding, that gives you your perspective. if you have an understanding. That's why I'm here to give a different understanding of a situation.
So, do you believe in absolutes?
Yes, on factual things. On opinions, there is no absolute opinion.
But opinions still should be based on some fact.
No, opinions are based on information, whether they are
Which
factual
should be
or
factual.
rumors.
Right.
A lot of them are rumors. Some people believe things that are rumors. I'll give you a perfect example. You believe something that's totally different from what I believe.
What's that?
I said that Robert E. Lee was a traitor to the United States of America.
I disagree.
And he was.
Yeah.
Robert E. Lee died a non-citizen of the United States of America. He was not a citizen of the United States. He was never pardoned. He was pardoned posthumously, which what good does it do then? So that means he died a traitor to the United States of America.
Well,
he could not vote.
It depends.
Robert E. Lee could not vote.
Right. It depends on who wins the battle. Determines who.
You talked about facts.
Yeah, but who
the
wins
fact is, the Confederate States of America revolted against the United States of America. That is a fact. They lost that war.
True.
That is a fact.
They lost war. I give you that.
So, factually, the losers of the war against the United States of America were traitors to the United States of America.
So
that's a fact.
Okay, right. That is a fact. So what we're
having said that,
now what we're saying, is that the people who revolted against England at the time were traitors
to England. To Great Britain. Yes, they were.
So
and they won that revolution.
Right. So one traitor tells another traitor that they're a traitor.
No. The United States
of traitors.
The 13 colonies agreed to a constitution.
And so did the members of
they agreed to a constitution. Then several southern states disagreed with that constitution because of one paragraph. Sovereignty, and in that sovereignty, the right to choose to have racial slavery. Let's call it what it is. It's racial slavery. Only black people could be slaves. No white man could be a slave. Only black people could be slaves.
So you're telling me that in the history of America, there's never been anybody but black people that have been slaves?
Right. The indentured servants, there were white indentured servants. The first group of Africans who came here were indentured servants also in the 1600s. So I'm saying legally, and with the Dred Scott decision in the United States Supreme Court, it said that black people did not have the rights of white people. So therefore, if you were a black person and a white person enslaved you, the United States of America was not there for you. That's what happened to Dred Scott. He was a slave who went to a free territory and claimed that he was free because they took him back into slavery. And the Supreme Court of the United States decided that.
Okay.
But that was changed.
Yeah. Now somebody just said, y'all must have anything to talk about today. No, there's always something to talk about.
Well, look,
perspective.
That shows, we're talking about something that's very important. On this week, we had the celebration of, first we had an inauguration, and on that day, we had Martin Luther King Day and Robert E. Lee Day.
They still got it mixed
there are
together?
only two states in the United States of America that celebrate Robert E. Lee and Martin Luther King on the same day. And that is Alabama and Mississippi. Why is that?
Brother can't even get a holiday by itself.
Why is that? Okay. And to the person who said, we don't have, this is something very important, my friend, whoever you are.
I didn't know we were still celebrating Robert E. Lee Day.
Robert E. Lee Day and Martin Luther King birthday. So the Confederates celebrate Robert E. Lee and everyone else celebrates Martin Luther King.
Well, it's just a day of celebration. I mean, no matter.
Well, I don't celebrate a traitor to the United States of America. And no American citizen should look at Robert E. Lee as a hero. Now, this is a conversation we need to have because people don't want, it's inconvenient history to say that a traitor is a traitor.
No, it is my understanding, and again, in 1957, when I think it was Eisenhower gave, I guess, or Lincoln, one of them, it was Lincoln or Eisenhower.
No, it wasn't.
Eisenhower gave them the status.
No, he didn't. What he gave was the widows of those veterans of foreign, and there were only about 50 of them. Okay, so there are. If you go in Montgomery, there is a section of the cemetery for the Confederate States, CSA. You will see that marked on their grave, CSA, Confederate States of America. Okay, there are no Confederate veterans honored in United States military cemetery because they were traitors.
Although there were, that word traitor just
that's the fact of the matter.
Philosophically, I don't think I agreed with Lee any slavery, but if people believe something that is inconsistent, I guess, with what we call our values.
Well, let me ask you this. But it was the Constitution. Here's the thing was, he was bound to Virginia. That's where his loyalty was, to the state of Virginia. When President Lincoln asked him, there seems there's going to be a war, would you lead my army? And Robert E. Lee told him, so Virginia goes, so I go. That is when he became a traitor to the United States. So he said he would take up arms against the United States with Virginia. Okay? So that means you are a traitor to the United States of America. That's factual. That's not an opinion. And if anyone says anything otherwise, that is just factually incorrect. And let's be honest about it, the majority of white people did not own slaves. It was a very small percentage of Southerners who actually owned slaves. So you had all of those hundreds of thousands of people who fought in a war and died for a very few people. And they received none of the benefits of it. They didn't own plantations. The majority of the rebel soldiers that died, they didn't own plantations. But they had a belief, and that belief, and it still persists today, that they were fighting for the superiority of the white race. That's what that was about.
And I just looked this up about Eisenhower. Eisenhower admired Robert E. Lee.
I don't care who he admired.
Let me ask something.
Trump admired Jackson, so I don't care who he admired. What does that mean?
But let me ask something.
He was a brilliant soldier.
Right. If we
give it to him, that's why Lincoln asked him to leave, because he was a brilliant tactical soldier.
But if we disagree with our government, how does that make us a traitor?
Because it's called a constitutional democracy.
And
if we disagree with our government,
we have a right
to vote something
different. We have the right.
You have a right to. The only thing you can legally do is put in legislators who will give you the legislation you want.
I think we can do a little more than that.
No, you can't.
If we wanted to.
No, you can't. No, you can't. It's called an insurrection.
Well, okay, what you call it, but we have.
Is it legal?
We have a right.
Is it morally and legally correct?
I think if the government, wait a minute, read the Declaration of Independence and see what the charges they brought against their government. Read the Declaration of Independence and the same thing our government does.
They won that war.
Good morning. Who's this?
It's called a revolution. Fine, sir. How are you? Yeah, they're not honored in National Veteran Cemetery. Which National Veteran Cemetery honors Confederate soldiers? I don't bet. Just go ahead and state the fact. If I'm incorrect, just go ahead and correct me. I'm not betting. It doesn't take $1,000. It just make the statement, sir. Union Army after the Civil War. Okay. Now, go ahead. You said Joe Wheeler. Joe Wheeler Park is named after him in North Montgomery. Okay. Okay, here we go. Is he in a national cemetery? Okay. When he died, was he a Confederate soldier? When he died, was he a Confederate soldier? Okay. Which one was he honored as? A Confederate soldier or a Union soldier? Which one was he honored as? A Confederate soldier or a Union soldier? That's my question, sir. So what I said was there are no Confederate soldiers honored as Confederate soldiers.
Well, y'all can't talk over each other, so.
Okay. I asked, no, hold on. Here's what I'm saying. Is he honored as a Confederate soldier in a Confederate in a national cemetery?
Well, y'all gonna just, yeah.
Is he honored as a Confederate soldier?
Still the same guy.
No. Is he honored as is he honored for his role in the Confederacy? Well, that's my question, sir. If you can say that his headstone says he's honored as a Confederate soldier who fought against the Union Army, okay, I will agree with you.
And I guess we just gotta look that up and see.
Yeah, look it up.
Yeah.
So if you find one, okay, good. But I still don't have evidence from what you said that you even said one. Well, and that is your opinion, sir. That is your opinion. In other words, I gave you my perspective, my understanding. You stated yours. My understanding is there are no Confederate soldiers.
Well, we'll figure that one out later on as we go around.
That is my
Bud, it's always good to hear from you, bro. All right. Okay. Well, we're going to see.
Is he honored as a Confederate soldier?
I think it's a great question. I got to go, but we got to take a break. We'll be back. 7:22 in the morning. Well, let's get on this camera. It's always brings up. But I didn't realize we were still. Well, hey, some people like
there are only two states, and it's mentioned every year on the national news.
Okay.
Mississippi and Alabama.
We'll be back.
Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by AC by LaQuire. AC by LaQuire is celebrating 40 years of comfort. They've proudly serviced the river region since 1983. Contact us for your heating.
I still have an issue. Everybody who fought in that war thought they were right. And wrong or right, in a war, there's always somebody who loses and somebody that wins.
Well, and my question to you,
the winner gets to tell the story.
Understand the Constitution of the United States?
Well, yeah, I served under it.
So if another group of people, a group of states got together and said, we don't like this Constitution, we want our own. So they're no longer a part of the United States. They are the Confederate States of America. So they are not the United States.
Right.
So If the United States say, no, you can't do that. This is an agreement we have. That's sovereignty, no.
But
and
Texas,
we will agree.
Texas has a right to secede. It's part of the part of their.
Do you really think so?
Well, as part of their.
If they do, they're going to have to pay the United States.
I don't think so.
Every penny they receive in federal dollars, they would have to pay. In other words, the only way they can succeed if Congress agrees that they can concede. Okay? If Congress agrees that they concede, but Congress is going to set the rules and the regulations. So the Congress of the United States is going to say, okay, you pay us $5 trillion, okay? Do immediately. Do you think the majority, I don't care whether it's Republicans or Democrats, do you think that any Congress, Senate, and the representatives are going to let that happen without a cause? That will have to be an agreement between the United States of America through the Congress, and the president will have to sign it.
Okay, so for more than 150 years, Texas had the power to. Okay, Article 4, Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution states Congress must approve any new state, but Texas claimed to be an exception to that policy. Okay, so he said Texas can't legally secede from the U.S. despite popular myth.
What I just said, right?
Texas can't secede, and here's why. I think it's something to Texas have constitutional rights to secede. Some have argued that the secession of a constitutional right, and others, because it does say it's the United States. If you don't want to be united with that body anymore, it seemed like to me that you're no longer part of that body.
Well, how constitutionally can you do that? You're reading it now. In other words, I've read that over and over, and I've read the rumors like you just repeated. And when you technically get into it, the rumors that people put out there, it don't stand up. It don't hold.
Well, commenting that revolution or consent of the states could lead to a successful secession. What Texas versus White, 1869, the Supreme Court ruled unilateral secession unconstitutional, while commenting that revolution or consent of the states could lead to a, so they would still have to get, they would still have to get the majority of the states to agree,
consent,
to let them go.
Which that will come through Congress, because we are represented by the Senate, and they just told you in a lot of words what I just told you. That means that the Senate and the House would have to agree that can happen. And I don't see that happening. So there are rumors that are out there. And it's just like I told you, and the young man wanted to argue, President Johnson only, and that group of people that he gave pardons to, it's only a small group of people that he gave it to.
Section 16, Arlington Cemetery is nothing but Confederate soldiers that have been buried in Arlington. So I guess
it's a section for them.
Right.
Because do you know what Arlington is?
Well, it used to be the.
Know why they're buried there? Because Arlington Cemetery was originally the property of Robert E. Lee's wife.
Yeah.
And that was taken from him when Henry Stewart took that property from his wife. They took the estate, that Custis Plantation, and made it the Union Army Cemetery. So they are not recognized as soldiers of the United States Army. They were buried there because there were so many of them. They put them in those graves in Arlington. That is a national cemetery. They're not buried as American soldiers. They're buried. Then I just said this in Alabama.
But let me ask something.
It's in Confederate States of America.
If brothers disagree,
and take up a gun and shoot each other.
But they're still brothers.
And take a gun and shoot each other.
But they're still brothers.
Okay.
They're still brothers. We as a nation.
Hold on. If you have two brothers, what you just said. You have two brothers.
Right.
And they disagree with each other.
Right.
And one takes a gun and shoot the other.
Still brothers.
Is the mother going to say, I love you for shooting my son?
No, of course not.
You just killed my son.
Of course.
You're my son who just killed my son. There's nothing positive that can come from that, Kevin.
But they are still brothers. And that,
and what is your point?
My point is that the Confederates,
you're no longer brother.
For all intents and purposes, were
they had a
black chiefs. Okay, let me go back to phone right quick. See who's there. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. Yes.
And where are they buried? Where are they buried? I said, where in Arlington are they buried? Only Confederate soldiers there, though. Here's what I'm saying, sir. They are not recognized as soldiers of the United States. They are Confederate. Arlington, they are not honored as, were they honored as soldiers of the United States? Did they receive benefits as United? Let me ask you this, sir. Let me ask you this. Did they receive the benefit? So that's not Yale. It's not Yale. Let me ask you this simple question.
Okay, well, let me take charge. Okay.
Did they receive the benefits of an American soldier?
Okay. Now, one at a time.
Let me ask you this, sir. So did those veterans of the Confederate States receive, let me ask you this. Did those veterans of the Confederate States receive, you're repeating the same thing. I'm asking a question. Okay. Did they receive the benefits of a veteran?
Okay, let me ask a question. Okay, well, let me ask a question. Let me ask a question here. Dr. Joe, he asked a reasonable question. Did they do the? I know. Fact, right? I know they're there.
But did they receive the benefits of a veteran?
Can you answer that?
I can answer it. No.
That's true. You did say that.
Okay, so you want to parse it? Well, they are not veterans of the United States.
Well, they're in a United States cemetery.
No, they're in a Confederate section of the cemetery that was taken over by the United States.
Still in America.
But they're not honored as a, so did they receive veteran benefits?
Well, none of them did.
Did they receive veteran benefits?
Okay, well, listen. Okay.
So, the fact is, did their family receive veteran
Well, we
benefits?
don't care what they receive right now. Right, the question.
Well, see, you're parsing things here, and okay, I'm well aware, and I knew this when I said it, that there are Confederate soldiers in the Confederate section
in the United States
of Arlington,
which
they are not honored,
but they're honored. But they are honored.
They're honored as people who died in a war.
Right. Okay, that's right. Exactly. So. Okay. All right. Appreciate it. Well, at least we figured that out this morning. All right. Appreciate it. Good morning. Who's this?
No, they didn't. Only those are the only few. All Confederates didn't receive that. Only the very few, and they didn't receive it. Their widows received that. Their widows received that. And she was one of those, and look it up, since you like to Google, look up how many of those women received it. It was a very few number, a very small number. So what I'm saying to you now in this whole thing, what I'm saying, they were, well, can I ask you this? Can I ask you this? Now this is what the whole for the Confederate Army traitors to the United States.
You guys are not going to agree. So let me take another call here because
yeah, they're trying to make heroes.
I can't
out of people who were not.
My hands. I only got two hands here.
There you go. Go ahead. Come on.
Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, sir. How are you this morning? Go ahead. I know you've been on Google. Well. Yes, it is. And what does that have to do with this discussion? You're talking. Go ahead. Okay. Well, a problem is here's okay, go ahead. Okay, here we go. The conversation that we were having is Kevin and I had a disagreement about here's what we were having a conversation about. Okay, here's what our conversation was about. The celebration of Martin Luther King Day and Robert E. Lee Day. And I said, no, hold on. I'm only here twice a month. I'm only here twice a month. I'm here twice a month. And when I give a perspective on a situation, okay, well, that's fine. I leave that to you. I leave that to you. Well, it's important to you to find out the negative things about Black people. It's important to me to give a perspective about history in general. Okay. Well, what do you want? What do you call them slaves? Well, the ones who put them in there, or the ones who put them there? You call those the victors of that war. That was war. The racial slavery was created by the Europeans. Slavery has been around ever since we can think about the Bible or whatever. But that's what the Roman army did it. The Egyptian army did it. But the racial slavery did not exist until after 1492, when Columbus came over to a place that no European had been before or didn't know about. And that's when racial slavery started to exist. Well, you know, you've gone through a lot of different things there, and you can think of a lot of negative things about Black people. But I was just talking about history in general, okay? And if it's important to you to talk about, and you can call every day because that's what you do. You can do that with Kevin. But today I was giving a perspective on where we were this week in history. Okay. And
well,
if you want,
got their perspective.
Yeah, and everybody's got, and you give your perspective every time I'm here.
Right. Hey, can I take a break? We'll be back at 7:38 in the morning, and we shall cogitate on this position at the moment.
There you go.
Your WSFA First Alert weather forecast.
He's right about one thing, though. You know, the danger to Black folks today is Black people.
Well, you know what?
That
is a social issue.
It's still killing people. With social issue
that's
or not,
a social issue. But you know what? We've got to talk about all of it. Now, that's an issue in itself. Now, why do those things happen? In other words, University of Alabama player that shot the guy there. If he didn't play for the University of Alabama, we wouldn't know about it.
Yeah.
It brings attention to it. There's senseless killing of young people, with young people. I heard gunshots this morning at 4 o'clock. It happens. As we put more guns on the street.
We've always had guns. We've never had this kind of killing. We've always had guns. Kids,
you know what? Hold on.
Kids 12 years old got rifles.
Here's the difference. You know what? We've always had indiscriminate and senseless killing, but you know what it was with? A knife.
Dead is dead.
They were killed.
I know, but dead is dead.
In other words, a guy even made a song out of it and became Bad Leroy Brown, baddest man in the whole downtown. That was a song about violence.
Right, it was.
And that was happening.
Human beings since Cain and Abel.
You've had ignorant people do ignorant things to other ignorant people. But the only difference now is with these weapons of mass destruction, innocent people get killed. A 5-year-old can get killed by a guy that's spraying the street. 5-year-old gets killed, 5 thugs over here, and no one gets hurt. That's the difference. When it was knife on knife,
I don't know where this mentality came, and we seem as people to make excuses for it.
It's not. We do. Hold on.
Collectively, we do.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
You know what? You know what?
Even prosecutors are making excuses for that.
Here's the problem. There is a small group of people who are doing these things, and because of the 24-hour news cycle, we hear about the negative more than we do the positive. We blow up the negative. And always
like Featherstone used to say, you don't want to hear it. If you don't want to hear it, don't let it happen.
Well, that's what sells. Sex, violence, that sells.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's right.
And a long-term roadmap for success. If you love great steaks, go to KentuckySteaks.com for website design, development, online solutions that bring efficiency and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. If you need a results-driven website, call the team at AmericanEagle.com at 877-WebNow1. That's 877-WebNow1.
Face it, you've been borrowing your buddy's tractor long enough. It's time to get your own John Deere from SunSouth. And SunSouth makes owning a John Deere easy and affordable with financing as low as 0% interest. Right now, you can drive off in a 1-Series tractor with loader starting around $200 a month. But watch out, if you have a John Deere, your friends may start appearing out of nowhere. For quality John Deere equipment, visit SunSouth. Equipment for those that do.
One search engine is used by 9 out of 10 consumers. Int, the name begins with a G, and there are hundreds of things that go into being ranked highly by that engine. Your website, your business profile, even your social accounts. A couple of slip-ups and you find.
Can't believe I'm drinking so much water these days.
Well, we have the experts and resources to fix what's wrong and boost your finding.
Water comes out just like soda does, man.
Get started today at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS.
Clean. I'm getting used to it, though.
Not making you kidney
How to use your staff teamwork. When a team works together, they can do anything. That's why all of us at Janny King, the King of Clean, are excited to team up with you.
And your birthday in March.
March the 2nd.
5 years, cleaning your places for work, education, medical attention,
March the 2nd.
and worship.
I'll be 68.
Go to Janny King Clean.
Damn, you're getting old.
And trust your cleaning to the king. That's
It does. That's true. Think about it. In May, I'll be.
Learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that,
thankful for every day.
Your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. This 401k tips and smart saving strategies.
Right now, this baby, he was wrong.
You know, like I said, it's a perspective.
Well, that's a fact. I mean, it is a fact that they are there and they are being honored.
And I said they are not honored as soldiers of the United States. Now people are going to say, I know they're in Arlington because that was originally the property of Robert E. Lee. And all those soldiers that died there had to be buried somewhere. And I know when it became the Union Army is not buried with the Confederacy. I said that in the beginning.
Next hour, just in case anybody wonders, there seemed to be an interesting conflict down at our city council yesterday, the meeting between Councilman Audrey Graham and Councilman Calhoun. and we're gonna talk a little bit about that. Another study. We want to do another study. Spend money on another study. We're gonna study the study that studied the other study. Okay. We after we get done doing the studies, won't be no money left.
What are you talking about?
Woo. Okay. Good morning. Who's this?
Yes. Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. In other words, from my perspective and my understanding.
Okay, well, that one people talking.
Yeah,
Somebody just got in my case about that. So what's your comment, caller? Ain't nothing like it.
There you go.
Okay, don't be giving me free advertisement though. They ain't paying me. All right, then I'm just saying, give me a little something for that. And I might talk about that barbecue sandwich. You didn't see the city council yesterday?
I didn't see it. What are you talking about? I looked at the agenda.
Yeah.
I saw there were several things coming up.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
vote on. Did
Evidently,
they vote on the ARPA money?
Well, I think therein lies part of the problem.
Was that the problem?
Yeah, they want to spend money on
money is always a problem.
They want to spend money on another study, but that are already, and like they keep talking about spending money on the broadband study. We've already had multiple studies on broadband. We know they need it. We need to get it out there rather than keep studying. I mean, that's just dumb stuff to me. Internet is not a luxury anymore.
I saw one. I think I read it correctly, where it said that the ARPA money would be given equally among the 9 districts.
Well, that's what they were talking about.
I think that's a problem in itself.
Why?
We should not be divided into districts. That's how we elect people. That's not how things should be distributed. If you really want to
but they represent their
that's only for voting. They represent the entire city.
Collective and
everything that's voted on is for the entire city.
That's right.
So if we
why not give?
We're paying politics in a politics year. This is a voting year.
Politics is politics.
Yeah, but let's be truthful about it. The money does not need to be spread equally among councilpersons' districts. Each district is not equal. There are things that are needed in, let's say, West Montgomery that are not needed in East Montgomery. So if you give the equal amount to East Montgomery, where you have East Chase and all of these suburbs, and then you have the other side of town where you have Blight, you have an urban area. How can you give the equal amount to a district that doesn't need it as a district? So now you have the people over there in this district that needs 10 times more money. They're fighting over it. So the people who represent those people who need more, they're going to fight with each other, because we're fighting about something that should go for the city as a whole. In other words, I live in District 3. Technically, District 3 is the richest district in the city of Montgomery, virtually the state, because the RSA is here, the Cattlemen's Association, the Teachers Association. If you ride down Union Street, you look at all the association
buildings. But this is not for
businesses.
This is for the common good.
What I'm saying is there is a lot of commerce here, in District 3, downtown.
But these are businesses.
All of this is in District 3.
Right. But
so therefore, if you look right where I sit right now, if you draw a circle around, look at all of the wealth in that circle.
Right, but that wealth is private wealth. That's not the wealth of the average citizen.
It's public wealth.
A
lot of it.
What
RSA?
But that's an organization.
Retirement system of America, of Alabama.
But that doesn't help the general citizen of the city of Montgomery.
Why doesn't it?
Because it doesn't. It hasn't.
Why?
I don't know. Why do we have people around here with no roofs on their houses and things of that nature, even though they're right downtown?
And I'm asking this question as today when I was coming, I'm driving down High Street.
Right.
And I look across there and I see this $300 million project going up.
But that's not for the citizens.
And then I look just around the corner, there are houses that are going to be torn down.
Right, but that's
on the agenda to be torn down. They're so raggedy, you have to be torn down.
Right.
I mean, it's
But that's got nothing to do with the. I mean,
so
being in District 3.
But it's all.
Yeah, but that wealth doesn't go to the average citizen.
Dollars.
Yeah, but that's state dollars. That's got nothing to do with those.
You're right,
houses.
and I agree with you.
Right.
But I'm saying, it seems so strange that you could have all of this wealth around you, and then have poverty next to it.
Well,
how is that possible?
You know,
and to get to the conversation you were saying, I don't know what the argument was, but I saw, man, there are so many things that need to be done, especially now. I live in downtown, really, and there's a lot. I live in a neighborhood that has a lot of blight, but I know there are things in West Montgomery that a lot of ARPA money could go to. You need more money to do things when you get federal dollars. You're only going to get it one time, right? So make the best of it. But if the smaller you divide the pieces up, the less you can put where it's really needed. And that's where we get these arguments.
Well, I think it should be a voluntarism if the other districts want to give that money to a particular district to fix it. But I do think all the citizens, regardless whether they live in a great neighborhood or not, all those citizens pay the taxes for the city of Montgomery. Right. And they have a right to an equal share. I think that
if we would forget, back to your word, the political correctness, if we would just look at where our problems are as a city, as opposed to looking at what's best for each district.
But those districts make up the city.
That's right. That's how you're voting in. We just vote. You know what? If we had at-large voting, I would be all for it. If we had an at-large city council where we just had 9 people who were voted at large, it would be a lot different, because that means every city council person would represent every district, and you would have representation, and so you would have certain people that would be voted on more in one area than another. See, this divided government isn't working too well, because the conditions, and I look at, on Martin Luther King Day, I walked around and I just felt disgusted. When Martin Luther King walked around in 1955, Jackson Street didn't look like that. He walked from his house, he lived on Jackson Street. He walked from his house to Alabama State University, which is Alabama State Teachers College, and worked on his dissertation there. And he would go to the restaurant across the street, have a smoke, and he would play pool at the other restaurant on the other side over there. And he would get his hair cut right down the street. I can't do that. I can't do what Martin Luther King could do 60 years ago. Just the things of just entertainment.
That's more than 60 years ago.
There was a hotel that friends of his, when they came into town, they could go to the Benmore Hotel, to the hotel right there. When I was a little boy, I used to walk on Jackson Street and High and watch all of the men who were sharp.
But what do you blame for that? Who's responsible for that?
It's assimilation, where we've forgotten about where we come from. And we thought the white ice water was colder, so we moved from our communities. Instead of building them, moved into the suburbs. I'm not disparaging people who moved to the suburbs. I'm just saying, if we had improved where we were, that was the whole idea of desegregation. Let us have equal rights. Now the bus, I used to be able to catch the bus when I was 5 years old and go to the movie. I can't catch the bus on Sunday now.
Okay, now you're going to tell me you was 5 years old catching the bus?
You're right. Yes, I can tell you that.
Come on.
Why not? I was 5 years old and I was going to Brown Private, and I went to school every day on Ewell Street.
I know, but
yes, I was 5.
Okay. I can't doubt you.
So I can't vouch for where you were when you were 5. I'm just saying where I was.
I understand. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Because when
I wasn't catching the bus at 5.
Yeah, I was catching the bus at 5. I was going to Brown Private.
Okay.
And then when I went to
but not to the movies though. But not to the movies.
Yeah. Yeah. You go to the Carver Theater. I would get on the bus. A group of us would go to the Carver Theater. We would go we catch the Veterans Court bus and go from Oak Street over there to Hope Street.
Yeah. Well, next hour, we are going to talk a little bit about City Council and why they're having such a difficult time to spending $84 million. That is no longer $84 million. Levitate's getting their piece of that cash every month, $42,000 of it. And by the time, and after 18 months or more, $42,000 times 18, that's a lot of money. So it seemed like to me we could have spent that money somewhere in Montgomery or Montgomery County. Take one more call, and then I gotta go in a little bit. Good morning, who's this? Yes, Dr. J.
Right.
At 5?
Yeah. At 5 years old, we could do that. No. No.
Well, somebody certainly, and listen, there has been a cultural metamorphosis of sorts, and we have changed from depending on those rituals and those traditions that are good until those things that make us feel good. Okay,
yeah,
it is not the same. You know, I see that thing. Yeah. It's a little blue, isn't it a little blue thing or something there? Yeah, I see. So that's what that is. That's I thought that. Oh, I thought it was somebody waiting on the bus. Really? Well, they must have got mental issues. I mean,
yeah, evidently. But
that's all I can tell you. I seen that thing. I thought there was somebody sitting there waiting on the bus, and he was setting that thing so he wouldn't get wet if it rained. Well, now let me ask you a question here. Be brave. Go ask him.
Yeah. But you know, that's one of the things that our
matter of fact, I'll go ask him. Now that I know that I'll go ask him. I said, well, you know,
he has mental issues.
I'll get the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get paid to do dangerous things. You don't. Yeah. Okay. All right. Appreciate it. Yeah, I get paid to do dangerous things. Anyway, it is 7:57 and 1. When we come back, I'm seeing if I can reach one of our city councilmen and find out, you know, what's going on down there. Well, we always got to carry over things and do things. Well, let's find out what's going down there. You know, they don't ever volunteer. I did have one that volunteered all the time, but I don't know. He kind of like left me hanging here. So I don't know what's going on, but I'll see if I can reach out to somebody and see if we can find out why it's such a difficult and arduous task to spend money. I don't have no problem spending money. I mean, spent some yesterday, about $40. That's right, $20 went to gas and bought me some Popeyes.
Well, that's little money.
Well,
big money is hard to spend.
Yeah,
most people don't know how to spend millions of dollars.
Yeah, I would. I mean,
you wouldn't know how to spend.
I mean, one day
you wouldn't know where to spend.
No, one day
and that's the problem. When it gets politics into it, there should be people who should be designated to do that.
Well, maybe it is and maybe it ain't. But gotta take a break. We'll be back.
You know, I thought that's, well, I'm going to say it so I see if somebody will call. I thought that's what development was about. You know, they have development department, and that's what development. They identify things that should and couldn't be done and all of that. And then if there's money is available, they say, oh, we need this and we could do this and we could do that. What happened?
You can also help those recovering from the storm. WSFA 12 News is teaming up with the Central Alabama
I think it kind of fell apart when
Central Alabama Tornado Relief Drive.
What's his name? Left, the other mayor, you know, he had because they had all those development committees You know, they had downtown development.
Yeah.
They had the core development and all that. What happened to that?
One order establishes standards for the management and operation of state agencies. The second establishes the governor's study group on efficiency in state government. And the third requires state agencies to eliminate unnecessary.
They are a development authority.
I'm Jasmine Williams at your Morning Headlines.
Where those are the same people
that show and heard on 95.1 HD3 FM Montgomery, the Cumulus Media Station.
those are the same people that built the thing backwards.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Liberty Mutual.
And you say built it back.
I'm Deborah
That's what they say.
There was a report on
in
what
other
caused a
words,
helicopter crash in a suburb
I mean,
of
that
Kyiv today
it didn't work in
killed at least
sequence.
16
No.
people.
They
Three
actually
children. The BBC's James
built it
Waterhouse is
backwards.
in
That's what I thought too. But they actually built it. They took the front
around the corner
and built it in the back, and the back to the front.
You can see the rotary blade.
Now you're back to that. I thought we straightened that up last time I was here. I thought the process was backwards.
No, that's what I thought too. And then when they checked on it, they said, no, it's not the process. They
Also
actually,
killed in the crash,
it's
Ukraine's
the
Interior
architecture.
Minister, Kyiv
They
Mayor
built
Vitaly Klitschko.
Well, did they get an architect? Did they
doing
vote
a
on
lot
it?
of things
Did
for
that happen?
Ukraine and making police reform in Ukraine, and it's actually a big tragedy for Ukraine, for his family.
Ukraine's government has just appointed the national police chief acting minister. A Qantas airline flight from New Zealand to Sydney landed safely with one engine after calling in a mayday from midair. Passengers grateful.
Thank God we're here. We thank the captain profusely for his professionalism. I think there were a few jokes that once we got on the ground, that if we'd known at the time, it might have been a bit different.
There are no details on what caused the problem. Christmas and Hanukkah sales petered out at the end of the holiday season. Retail sales overall fell a greater than expected 1.1% in December after dipping the month before. Consumers were spending less on cars, gas, and furniture as rising inflation and interest rates took a toll. The birthday business isn't what it used to be.
Party City, nobody has more birthday for less.
One-time favorite Party City has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The company says franchise and online stores, along with its foil balloon business, will all remain open. Another North Carolina substation has been damaged by gunfire. Energy United's Steve McAhern.
We got an alarm that one of our pieces of equipment was having some problems, so we dispatched a technician out there. When we got out there, of course, he discovered that multiple pieces of equipment had been damaged.
The facility in Asheboro is offline right now, but there are no reports of power outages. Electricity went out to tens of thousands of homes in Moore County after several substations there were fired on in December. That was fast for Rafael Nadal. Game 7. Defending champ was ousted today in the second round at the Australian Open by American Mackenzie McDonald, who's never cracked the top 40 in the world rankings. Nadal injured his right hip in the 8th game of the second set, went on to lose 6-4, 6-4, 7-5. This is CBS News.
Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day deals to save them a trip. Or
You know, I get into a long conversation with people about it because they parsing. Senator Howie Long from Louisiana is the senator who wrote that legislation to allow those veterans, widows to receive that. So I can take exactly who wrote the legislation, when it was done, and who got it. But if you're parsing into that,
MyPillow is always looking for ways to solve everyday problems. Introducing a 6-piece towel set that
But it's
includes 2
perspective.
bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. Right now, you can receive a
Did
6-piece
you get
set
it?
for only $39.98 with promo code SKY. MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty and have a 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, and enter promo code SKY.
Hard
Or call
spending.
800-635-1825. That's MyPillow.com, promo code
it's
SKY.
easy to throw away, man.
The Church of England is softening its stance on same-sex marriage.
Officially, the Church of England's teaching remains unchanged. Christian marriage is only between a man and a woman. But bishops meeting next month are now expected to allow same-sex couples to have their unions blessed in a church. Stephen Cottrell is the Archbishop of York.
Those who've entered into a same-sex marriage can come to the church, receive God's blessing, and have that relationship acknowledged, but it isn't same-sex marriage.
Next month's General Synod, as it's called, will also include an apology for the way the church has excluded LGBT plus people.
Here's what I can't understand. Gloria Estefan became the first Hispanic woman inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
True. I remember in church, choir director.
She tells CBS Morning she and her husband Emilio got a lot of no's when they started out.
Work, no, you're not going to get the suburb, no, you can't compete on a world level. And of course,
call in, man, by 8:30, so we
Rodriguez,
talked about this
CBS
meeting
News.
last night down there. What's up with that?
This is Mike Costanza with Chappie's.
Yeah. And why y'all can't figure, by the time y'all get done studying with the money gonna be gone.
Because we hear all the time, you have casseroles? Yes.
The ARPA money. That was, listen, that was $84. I mean, $84 million. I don't know what the hell it is now. Y'all done spent, y'all done paid Levitate, what, almost $1 million of it? Yeah. So can I see you the VIP line about 8:30? You give a brother a call in. All right.
I can talk Chappie's casseroles all day. I can just call ahead and
You got one calling at 8:30.
And
around they're gonna call it 15
spaghetti and the chicken parm and the rolls are included.
Order your Chappie's casseroles to go at your favorite Chappie's Deli today. Chappie's Deli, back to South Town.
Well, actually, they really made it complicated. Divided 9 ways. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
It's easy to put something in one pot and say, okay, but when you divide it up 9 different ways, now no one's going to be satisfied. You know that.
Yeah.
Because what's important in one area of town might not be that important. So if they put a pickleball, because there are things that you could put that under that could get ARPA money. It's a facility for elderly people who need blah, 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 and you're going to have this and that. You can make the wording so that it will work. So there will be people who will be complaining. Now, it's easy to build a pickleball court. And people who need something with ragged houses and stuff, that's a totally different thing.
Yeah, I know. And I know the government can't fix everybody's house, but
No.
there ought to be something for older people, though, who just, you cannot do nothing on Social Security. I mean, it's hardly any money.
You know, Kevin, I work with that and I've tried. It's hard. See, you got the people who really need it, 9 times out of 10, they're living in someone else's house.
Well,
they're on a rental property. So you can't give the money to a rental property. See, now, if you have someone who is in their own house, that's another situation. But then again, what happens when they die? See, it gets, when you get it into real property and personal belongings and individuals, that's why it's easy
but
to get
shouldn't
into
it
big
be fixed for the, shouldn't it be for the sanctity of the individual regardless of whose house it is? They still got to live there. They still live there.
I'm telling you, I've come across it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't doubt what you're saying is true.
In other words, I have a stack of applications that I had from Christmas and April, where they were going to repair 20 homes in Centennial Hill. Okay, I had a stack of them, 20. Okay, I still have them. You know why? Because the majority of the houses that they identified belong to someone else.
Well, we can't, but can't we talk to the people who own it?
Now, this is interesting. He has his own lawyers.
Hold on. They can afford to fix it.
Yeah. Now, if his lawyers
Maybe they can, maybe they can.
now become
They could,
witnesses
but
in
they don't.
piece of the documents. Now, Biden has aides that don't have any security clearance at all whatsoever. They're now searching for classified documents. In other words, rather than invite in a private group like President Trump did, or the FBI to conduct a proper search of Biden's private residences, the president, the attorney general, FBI director, the Biden establishment, they're allowing Biden employees that have no security clearances at all whatsoever to search for these highly sensitive, top secret documents.
The conservative underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
War, inflation, and over $31 trillion in debt. It's looking like 2008 all over again. Millions of Americans watch their retirement savings disappear, while those who invested in physical gold and silver were protected. And if you have $50,000 or more in your IRA, 401k, or savings, you could be
hard to give away money
right now. Thousands of Americans are using.
Hard to give
I don't know. It wasn't hard for me to give it away. Matter of fact, yesterday I had to. Somebody, I said, well, where are you doing the Christmas thing?
Thousands are protected with gold and silver.
Somebody light bill for
the
it's always.
And as a Sean
It's always. But I didn't care. I mean, I put the money in the bank.
$10,000 in free silver to do it. Goldco has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of customers.
Right now, friends, I'm going to going to the light bill place today.
We could be looking at a recession worse than 2008. So don't wait.
One day I was
Call
sitting there
today.
and somebody was
Call
just having a hard time
855-815-GOLD.
I could not leave that job.
815-GOLD.
Hey, but take this. We good.
And like you said, it was that Social Security, which is not much.
It really
People,
is.
you know, after paying rent
And buying some food.
You know what?
And your light bill.
I can imagine now.
It's
buying
terrible.
food is ridiculous.
$8 for a dozen eggs. They might just bend me over and put it to me.
Man.
I ain't paying
And I
it.
said, hey, look, I don't eat that many of them, so it don't matter to me. But well, it's $5.
I mean, but that's just. I asked the guy in the store. Did the chickens go on strike?
No, you know what? But they said it was coming because there was a big illness of fowl, of turkeys and
they always
chickens.
say that when they raise the price.
No, they had already said it was coming. They said that back in the summer.
Savings of
They were right.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or
The supply and demand.
$5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-683-7713. That's 1-800-683-7733. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-683-7733. That's 1-800-683-7733.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Hey guys, it's the new year. We pop the champagne, kissed at midnight, and it's time to make a new start. But if you aren't popping like you used to because of erectile dysfunction or low testosterone, maybe your new start should be making a call to Montgomery Men's Health. You see, ED is just a medical condition affecting men of all ages. But the good news is that ED is highly treatable. In fact, the medical experts at Montgomery Men's Health have successfully treated many men, with ED treatments having success rates as high as 90%. And with a variety of ED treatment options, including acoustic wave therapy, they can likely find the right one for you. You might even find your cork is popping like it hasn't in years. Plus, their low
Your cork is popping.
So many life-changing results from increased energy.
They took my money away. I don't get to advertise ED no more. Come on, man. What? I need that extra money.
Your initial visit is only $99 and includes a more comprehensive approach, including a testosterone lab panel and a medical.
Well, took you away from me?
Yeah, took my little change away and said, no kidding.
440-3663 or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
Telling it like it really is. It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2.
Just not with you.
1440.
Yeah. This is one of those things, I guess. Okay, I had to take an extended break there because I'm expecting a couple of calls from a couple of city councilmen around about 8:15 a minute here to talk a little bit about what happened at city council meeting last night and why it's to the untrained eye, which is my eye, why it seems that for the first time in the history of Montgomery, we got money, and the excuse that they always used to tell us, we don't have the money. Now we got the money, but now we can't figure out how to spend the money. And then once we do spend the money, well, will we have any money left? I mean, it's the most convoluted. Politics seeps its head into so many things, and what's normal from the average citizen, me, you, and everybody else, it's just simple. Take care of the needs first. the 1 second. I mean, that's just me, but,
No. Well, you're talking about federal dollars. And to put federal dollars where they are required to go is very hard to do, extremely hard. I wouldn't accept a penny of federal dollars, me personally.
Yeah, but if I had
there's too much red tape.
I'd give it to you. I said, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
No, and then you've got to pay it back.
We can all get together and pay it back.
No.
What do
you mean we?
We can all get
What do you
together.
mean we?
There's nowhere in the world. I'm the mayor of Montgomery, and I got people who when it rains, it drips water in the house. I'm gonna spend the money, unless you want to come put me in jail.
You can't do federal.
Oh, you can do it.
You
You're supposed to.
You cannot.
What are they gonna do to me?
There are requirements.
I know, but what they gonna do to me?
Federal dollars.
What are they gonna do to me? Put me in jail?
Kevin, it's not that easy. Okay.
Listen, write the check. Write the check.
That's irresponsible. That's irresponsible.
Maybe so, but I think it's irresponsible to allow people to live in such a way.
Where will the money go that it's qualified to go there? It has to meet certain qualifications.
And I understand that. But are you telling me in 2 years almost we haven't figured out where to put the money yet? 2 years? We ain't figured it out?
No, it's hard. It's hard to spend federal dollars.
No, we just spend it. Worry about the
hard to spend federal dollars.
Worry about worry about the consequences later.
No, that's not the way it works.
Yeah, you worry about that later. Hey, good morning. Who's this? Good morning, Councilman.
Good morning.
You see, I'm having this. You see, I'm having this conversation because I don't understand the hoopla about spending money and the conference last night between Audrey and Cornelius. That seemed to be interesting. We have paid Levitate a lot of money, and we can't seem to figure out who else to pay. I know some of that money has been authorized to go places, but has it gotten there yet? I mean, what's the deal? But we've done the studies before. I've been here. They still don't have broadband. Hadn't changed. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you a question though. Let me ask you a question. We got more empty buildings around this city than any place I've ever lived, which is the only place I really ever lived for a long time. Why can't we convert some of these buildings and turn it into community centers as opposed to building something? Was that a long time ago? 80s ain't that long ago. Okay. Let me see if I got somebody I want to talk to. I think you're on there with the Councilman Arande Mitchell. Okay. Okay. Avis, I'm with you. I hear you. But do you got a question for the councilman? Because I got other people want to talk to him. See what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about seeing? See, what did you want to see? Oh. Okay. Okay. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Anyway, another thing too, the lady who came at Miss Germany. Now I understand that there's a we don't really have and we're not really affectionate when it comes to liquor licenses, although you guys don't really have anything written down there about how you should go about getting it. But it seemed like to me if Audrey or you or anybody else said, well, we got too many liquor stores, then you can't blame people for putting up businesses where there is no business. So why do we have this? Is there a moratorium on liquor licenses? Right. Right. Right there on Fairview Avenue. Right there on Fairview Avenue with already liquor store. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So you can't have them. So you can't have them next to each other, even though that place where she is used to sell alcohol. Yeah, I got you. I got you. Okay. Right. 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 Okay. What we're wondering though, why isn't there because it seems that you guys seem to have too much ambiguity about the rules and regulations. So I go down to the state, I get my license, okay, to do this. Then they come in front of you guys, and if 10 people say, well, we don't want one, well, there's approximately 22,000 people in each district. So how in the hell can 20 people stop me from doing my legal business? Is that part of the process? Is there anywhere written where I must kiss the ring of a neighborhood association president? Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, and I'm good with that. So why not put that on paper that they must bring support in opposition to the other opposition to the city council in place? Because right now it's a one-sided affair. Mm. Okay. Again, is opposition part of the process that will determine if you get a life? Is that somewhere written? Say if you have opposition, I mean, is that I'm looking for the legality of the rationale behind you guys. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Who told you that? The attorneys? Okay. Okay. Well, we just now. Right. Right. Attorneys normally write things down, so we can't have one for this one. Okay then. I'm with you. But hey, listen, I think you're doing a good job, and you're always amenable to, you always come on and talk to us, and I appreciate it. One more thing. One more thing. So you really believe that we need another study about broadband? And how much is that study going to cost us? Last time I heard it, it was around $6 million. Okay. All right. All right. Bye-bye. All right then. Councilman Rondé Mitchell, which I really like. I think he's out there humping all the time. Mm-hmm. I'll do another study to study the last study that studied the study before that. Because I heard Calhoun say one time they either $3 or $6 million is what they were going to spend on another study. 8:28 in the morning. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. They did, didn't they? That's right. They did. Yeah. 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 Mm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Oh, hey, sorry about that. Didn't mean to cut you off there. I got guests on the phone with us right now. I got another councilman. Good morning, councilman. How you
Good morning.
how you doing? Pretty good.
Great.
So you heard what me and Aronde were talking about. What's your input on some of this? Are we in a maze here, the twilight zone? It's difficult to make. I mean, Donald says that it's hard to spend money. I can't even fathom that. Is it?
Correct.
Do you find that statement to be a reality? The issue of the another study for broadband. Now, in your heart of heart, do you really feel we need an issue, or do we need another study? We've had about 3 of them since I have been here. What is it that we studied? Whether or not the rats that came in the fields, or whether or not it rained too much? What are we studying? Yeah. Well, and again, that may be so, but there certainly has been more money going to Levitate than anybody else. So, $42,000. That money could have went to some of the poorest places in town. But anyway, let me ask you something. And you I know you don't know the answer to this question, but I would like to know what your opinions are. Do you believe there's a lot of money going underneath the table around here, and that's why we can't seem to come to a decision on what to spend. I don't mean any of our people, but it seemed like to me that the only reason why this is such a stuck in the mud issue, somebody getting something underneath the table somewhere. Yeah, you don't think so? And by the time we get to point B, the money that was C is going to almost be depleted. So I mean, it would be it's a shame that Levitate, people who tell us how to read things, and we all can read, is making more money off this deal than the people in Montgomery. Hey, listen. Ask for forgiveness, not permission. And we'll never see the money that we've already wasted paying somebody to tell us how to spend it. Councilman, really, I can read. I mean, what is so difficult about this? Don't we know by now? Hey, let me take a call for you. I think somebody wants to ask you a question. Good morning. You're on there with the Councilman Pruitt. Yes. Another study. Mm. Mm. Okay, Richard, let me take one more because the council doesn't have a long time. Let's see. Good morning on there. Yeah. Yes. Why not? We'll never see it anyway. we ain't gonna never pay half the money back we borrowed already. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. For you. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What? Why not put those road bumps up there in a certain neighborhood, residential neighborhood? Why? The bump. Yeah. Yeah. I'm talking about the bumps, the things you put in the road that the slow. Right. Yeah. Okay. You know the comical side of all of this, but I've been here 31 years and I always heard we didn't have any money, so we couldn't get it done. Now here we got a whole lot of money, we can't get it done. So I'm just perplexed, my friend. I'm perplexed. Yeah. Appreciate it, Councilman. We'll be back. Mm-hmm.
Mike.
Your WSFA First Alert weather forecast.
You know, that's the problem. People don't understand how hard it is to spend federal dollars under OMB reg.
Oh, it's probably
and
difficult.
if you do it incorrectly, then your next time you go for your money, that's going to be taken away. So now you're in the hole. If you started a project and you think you're going to get the money, they said, no, you spent it wrong over here. Now you got to pay for that. That happens now. So I'm telling you, OMB,
sure.
it takes basically a degree in itself in OMB regs to do that. That's Office of Management and Budget.
Then the problem is it's not our interpretation of the law, it's how it is written.
No, it's not how it is written. It is your interpretation.
Then why don't we just use plain English?
Legalese is plain English.
It's plain English to legalese. That's right.
In other words, it's just like if I say you can do something and you shall.
Right, and I understand that.
That is different.
That's true.
And people must understand.
One is a command and one is an option.
And then therefore everything that's written in the legal document, there is no leeway. It's either this or that.
I still say ask for forgiveness, not permission.
No, that don't work that way. That's a little money.
Ben here with Just Blinds in Prattville. On behalf of the Myers family and our entire team here at Just Blinds, we want to sincerely thank you for selecting Just Blinds as the best, your #1 choice for blinds, shutters, and drapes in Central Alabama. Just Blinds has been delivering on our family's commitment to provide quality window treatments at affordable prices and to deliver the absolute best in customer service before, during, and after the sale for over 35 years. Please visit us online at gojustblinds.com.
I need you right away. My closet's leaking, there's water on the floor. Can't take it one more day. Come fix my home, Bill Bradley. Come fix my home. I know you want it. For one flat rate price, I know it will be right.
You know, it's too much politics. That's the entire thing.
It seems to be.
It is. In other words, if you can't do it district by district, you got to do it on top priority. It's just like Madison Park, or Hunter Station, or that. Yeah. What's your top priority?
Hey, good morning. You're into the airport, right? Yeah, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver? About 3 years. years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gets you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now and earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WIN for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WIN for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WIN.
Jenny King, the king of me.
How do you and your staff get things done? It's teamwork. When a team works together, they can do anything. That's why all of us at Janny King, the king of clean, are excited to team up with you. At Janny King, our team has been working together for over 35 years, cleaning your places for work, education, medical attention, eateries, stadiums, and worship. Let our team help your team. Go to JannyKingCleans.com and trust your clean to the king. That's JannyKingCleans.com.
Jenny King, the king of clean.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses power suction that will saline in one nostril around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, flushing out allergies.
You know, one of the reasons we can't spend, we don't have proper personnel. You may think it's, see, when something like this comes up,
we got people that we like.
Well, see, when you have, like, say, Birmingham has, each councilperson has their staff. And that staff, yeah, they got staff. Their job is to see what needs to be done here. City councilperson is a part-time job. Now, in a big city, let's say like New York or Chicago or Los Angeles, an alderman is a full-time job. You get $150,000 a year and a stipend.
I mean,
and the staff.
You need a staff.
And the staff.
Yeah, you need a staff.
We're between being a small city and a big town, both at the same time. Where you have, when you get close to $100 million on something, that takes a totally different thought than, let's say, a Prattville or a Millville. But then again, they're part of the metropolitan area. We need to start looking at ourselves as a metropolitan area, which consists of Pike Road, Millbrook, Prattville, and Wetumpka. And it all has to work together. One of our worst problems is public transportation. People may not get that, but there's a wreck every day on I-65 and 85.
All right, I got enough time to take at least a couple more calls. Well, we're gonna call this a day. It's Donald Jenkins Day, my day. We're here together, being kumbaya and all that good stuff. Let me see how to do this. All right, let me go take who this is. Good morning, who's this? Yes. Okay. You got to make it quick now because I don't have a lot of time. All right. Hey, I kind of agree with you on that one. We'd have a whole town in uproar if they put somebody in jail for trying to do the right thing. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. All righty then. Okay. Good morning. Who's this? Well, that couldn't have been Ed. That was too quick. Okay then. All right, so you've been vindicated, because I know that wasn't you. So we, okay then. Anyway, well, Donald, it's been interesting. We figured out this morning that there are Confederate soldiers in Arlington National Cemetery that are being honored.
In other words, it's perspective. Okay, my understanding is that the United States does not celebrate Confederate soldiers. That was the entire point. And when you parse it out, yes, Confederate soldiers are in places for Confederate soldiers, but not as they serve the United States of America. They are not celebrated. They are traitors to the United States of America. So back to the original subject, Robert E. Lee was a traitor to the United States of America. And when you get into the other things and the parsing the little things, they're trying to say, well, these veterans received that. And
I think he was committed to his family.
He was committed to Virginia.
Right. And
it was states'
right.
rights. He believed the state of Virginia was who he was. That's where his loyalty was. But
don't you
before
believe
he
in states'
died,
rights?
no.
You don't believe in states'
Not
rights?
like that. No.
Oh, okay.
No, not like that. But before he died, he did pledge his allegiance to the United States of America. But that letter never did reach President Johnson. So that's why he wasn't pardoned. He was pardoned posthumously by who was that? Gerald Ford in 1975. So he was only pardoned in 1975 after he died.
All right. One more. Good morning. Who's this? Yes.
Okay, whoever Brandon is, and that's your perspective.
Okay, and
that's your understanding.
Everybody has a right to their opinion.
Absolutely.
And that happens to be yours.
Absolutely. And that's there again, that's perspective. Now, that's his understanding, that's his point of view. I may disagree with that, and I have a different point of view. My point of view is those who follow the Constitution of the United States are correct. Now, whoever Brandon is, I don't know what he won or didn't win, but we're talking about the United States of America. And that's very simple. So and I'm insulted to put Robert E. Lee in the same league with Martin Luther King. Put them on the same level is not equal to me.
Well, I don't think they put them on the same level, but there was some conversation about why we had the inauguration on Martin Luther King's birthday thing, celebration. It's because it's constitutional.
Well, it's the date that
right.
It's gone. But my whole point was that it is Robert E. Lee and Martin Luther King's day in two states. Only two, Mississippi and Alabama. Why is that?
Well, they got to be, they're consistent. Good morning.
No, that was
it. Anyway, well, my time is up. Well, Donna, as always, you brought a perspective that some of us like and some of us don't. Well, same me too. I mean, everybody, everybody.
And that doesn't necessarily change a person's mind. It just gives them a different perspective.
Different perspective.
And you don't have to agree with it.
Well, gotta take a break. We'll be back. The good Lord says the same. Be back tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat station, and I'm pretty sure I'll have something, something to say.
Always.
Yeah, always. Yeah. You may not like it, but I'll have it.
Your WSFA 12 news update on News Radio 1440.
Well, it was interesting today.
Oh yeah, you got. I don't know if that answered your question on the thing, but
not really.
Not really.
I just don't understand. For years we don't got no money.
Well, like I said, people who see if you've dealt with the federal government, federal dollars,
and it is a hard.
I have done it.
Yeah, it is. I don't want to.
And it's a lot. Yeah. See, here's what happens. You can go out there and if someone's saying, and there were people who told me, okay, this is good, you're good on that. And after we had spent the money, then the federal government said, no, we're not going to pay that. But I've spent it. So it cost me personally. But I'm just saying, that's why I say.
Did you do it for people?
Yeah. Because the nonprofit did. And then so I did it because I'm under the understanding that the money is going to come. That's what I was told.
Oh.
Okay. But according to the
next time, don't spend the money first.
No, but that's the way it works. You spend the money, You don't have a check. That's the way federal dollars
All
work.
right, no one there ain't gonna get no federal dollars.
Yeah, what it is, you get reimbursed.
Yeah.
That's the way grants work. A lot of